What's up, you guys? In this video, we're going to talk about cardio for fat loss, specifically what you need to know, how to optimize your routine, and what is enough cardio for fat loss and what is too much. And we're starting right now. Alright, welcome to this video. If this is your first time on my channel and you want to learn everything you need to know about fat loss related topics, then definitely consider subscribing so you don't miss any of my videos. So in this video, obviously we're going to talk about cardio for fat loss and basically everything you need to know about it. So let's get started. So what you need to know first is that your caloric deficit, the amount of calories you are eating, is going to be way more important than the amount of cardio you do and will ever do. Your calories, the amount of calories you eat per day, is going to determine whether you lose weight. Okay, cardio doesn't cause weight loss or fat loss on its own. A caloric deficit causes weight loss. Your macronutrient split is what determines what you keep and what you don't. So there's a muscle and protein relationship example I like to go to. Like, for example, if you were to just lose weight by strictly cardio and just a caloric deficit, then you would lose a whole bunch of muscle. However, if you were to have a caloric deficit but also eat the right amount of protein, then you could either gain or maintain your muscle depending if you're on a beginner or advanced individual. Remember that your macros and calories are far more important than the amount of cardio you do. So if you don't know anything about how to set up your calories, how to set up your macros, I have a couple of videos on my channel that I'll link down in the description so you can find out what those are for you. And also I have a macros diet video course if you guys are interested, want to learn how to track macros, how to set them up with MyFitnessPal and all that good stuff. So I'll leave that in the description if you are interested, if you're a beginner and don't know anything about tracking macros and calories. Alright, with all that being said, let's move on to cardio for fat loss. And my first tip is to not do too much cardio too often, and here's why. Okay, so first we're going to talk about high intensity interval training, or HIIT. If you don't know what HIIT is, it's basically the most basic form of HIIT is sprinting, right? You go really fast, the sprint part, your high intensity part, and then you rest, and then you sprint again, and then you would do that for like 15 to 25 minutes. That's a HIIT workout. That's the most basic example I can give you. But doing HIIT too often, doing sprints too often, can lead to overtraining, lots of soreness, muscle loss, fatigue, and doing sprints too often can really hit the legs hard, right? And this is good if you want to strengthen your legs and everything. However, if you're already doing squats and deadlifts throughout your lifting week, during the week in your lifting workouts, then doing sprints on top of that is going to cause a lot of soreness, a lot of fatigue to your legs. And what this does is that it can interfere with your squatting and deadlifting performance. If your main goal is to maintain muscle, sprinting is good to build some muscle mass in the legs, to build some strength and speed. However, deadlifting and squatting are far more effective for the power and strength, and to maintain the most amount of muscle, you would rather focus on squatting and deadlifting for leg strength and other areas as well. So if you did sprints 5 times a week, that could really interfere with your gains in the gym. And then muscle loss. You're already in a caloric deficit. You're already eating a low amount of calories. You're not providing your body with sufficient amount of calories, right? And your body has a big potential to lose muscle because you're not providing your body with enough calories. Now, if you add lifting on top of that, the potential grows even more. If you add lifting and cardio very often, then that potential just grows even more, and then you are more susceptible to lose a bunch of muscle, and you don't want to do that. You don't want to be the skinny fat guy, right? So make sure to don't overdo the HIIT, and we'll talk about in a second what the right amount of HIIT is. Cool, so let's talk about how often you should actually do high intensity interval training, okay? So we'll talk about the different other form of cardio you should do about throughout the week in a second, but HIIT, as far as HIIT goes, like sprinting, you should do it 1 to 2 times per week, okay? This is given that you actually lift weights, all right, not cardio, lift actual weights 3 to 5 times per week, okay? And so what kinds of HIIT is best? One I already stated was sprinting. The next one would be rowing or cycling. And there's a couple of reasons why I picked these three. So these three options actually mimic something that's called compound lifts or movements or exercises, okay? And there'll be a study in the description showing why this is true. Basically, a compound lift is any lift that utilizes multiple joints or multiple muscle groups to perform the exercise. So for example, the squat, deadlift, overhead press, the pull-up, the barbell row, these are all compound lifts. And so cycling and sprinting, for example, they mimic the same movement pattern as the squat. And I'll put a picture here illustrating this exactly by Jeremy Ethier, I believe. He shows this pretty nicely. So cycling and sprinting, like I said, they mimic the squat movement. Rowing obviously mimics the barbell row movement, okay? So these three are the best options for high intensity interval training, just because the less potential there is to lose muscle or strength in those HIIT exercises, because they mimic compound lifts. And the more exercise mimics compound lifts, the less potential there is to lose that strength there. And again, I'll leave the study in the description below if you are interested in checking that out. And again, just to summarize, we're doing 1 to 2 of these HIIT sessions per week, given that you train 3 to 5 times per week in the gym, lifting weights. And again, it's cycling, sprinting, and rowing. Those are the main forms. Okay, now let's talk about low intensity steady state cardio or walking. And I recommend you guys do this 3 to 4 times per week if time permits, okay? And so LISS, or low intensity steady state cardio, is basically the best form of cardio because you can avoid all the negatives that high intensity interval training comes with, which is the fatigue, the muscle soreness, interfering with your strength lifting sessions. So LISS does not result in muscle loss because of how little effort it takes. So an example of low intensity steady state cardio would be like the Stairmaster at a very low speed. A very light jog, and I mean very light, nothing, you're not trying to run your best mile time or anything. It's just a very slow jog for distance, right? Walking for 45 minutes to 2 hours. That's another example of low intensity steady state cardio. Basically anything that you can do on any cardio machine at a low level for a long period of time. And it doesn't take much effort to do this. The only thing that it takes is time. And that's why I said if time permits, right? However, not all of us have time to walk 2 hours per day or do the Stairmaster for 45 minutes or whatever. I don't, a lot of people don't. So if you want to average a good calorie burn cycle, what I like to do is I do 4 to 5 Stairmaster sessions per week when I'm cutting for 20 minutes each, okay? So 20 minutes at like level 5. If the top level speed is 20 on the Stairmaster, I do level 5, level 6 for 20 minutes, 5 days a week. That's because it's short, it's quick, and I can get about 200, 300 calories burned in that time frame. It doesn't take too long, right? And then I still stick to my 1 HIIT session per week on top of that. This keeps my cardio sessions short, and I can still do HIIT and reap the benefits of high intensity interval training. And then this brings me to my last point, which is being more active overall week to week is way better than doing loads and loads of cardio, okay? So a bunch of people, including other fitness people I follow, would rather people who are trying to lose weight to get more active, right? Get those 10,000 steps in per day, walk to the gym, walk to work, cycle to work, whatever, walk your dog, do something to get just more active. If the only activity you get per day is going to the gym and doing cardio, then you're gonna have to do more cardio sessions throughout the week because you're not active at all. And so I think that if you want to lose fat faster, if you want to lose weight faster, the best way to do it is to just become more active. If you become more active, the more calories you can eat, or the faster your amount of weight loss and fat loss will be. And so if you can just find ways to go on walks more often, walk somewhere instead of driving, or cycle somewhere instead of driving, go on walks with friends, go on hikes more often, do something, just get outside, then you will see the fat drop faster. Instead of doing 5 workouts per week of cardio, you can do maybe 3 and still get away with losing fat as fast as you would like. So I highly recommend getting more active before you ever do or add another cardio session into your cutting routine. And yeah, so let's recap really quick about all this information you just learned about cardio for fat loss. So remember, a caloric deficit is going to trump cardio every day of the week forever from now on until the rest of eternity. If your calories aren't set correctly and your macros aren't set correctly, then you're just going to you're either going to not lose weight, or if you do, you're going to lose a whole bunch of muscle and you're not going to look any better than when you started. Again, if you don't know anything about macros and calories and how to track them, how to use MyFitnessPal, how to use a food scale, how to set up your meal plan for fat loss, then definitely check out the macros diet video course down in the description below. Again, HIIT 1 to 2 sessions per week. Remember, they should be in the form of cycling, sprinting, or rowing if possible, because those mimic compound lifts. And then finally, walk or do LISS 3 to 4 times per week on top of the 1 to 2 HIIT sessions per week. Again, a LISS session could be anything like the Stairmaster, going on a light jog, walking on an incline on the treadmill, anything at a very low speed, very little effort, however, for 45 to 2 hours. And also, if you want to average a good calorie burn, if you don't have a lot of time, it's just to do 4 to 5 Stairmaster sessions for 20 minutes at a low speed also. And that will work as well. And that's going to be it for this video, you guys. If you like this video or have any questions, leave a like or comment down below, and I will see you guys on the next one.